Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. It's chapter number 24, verse number 39. Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Sukha Chhadya Jara Gandhe Alaukika Shakti Gune Krishna Kripai Bandhe. Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Sukha Chhadya Jara Gandhe Alaukika Shakti Gune Krishna Kripai Bandhe. Bhukti Mukti Siddha Sukha Chhadya Jara Gandhe Alaukika Shakti Gune Krishna Kripai Bandhe. So the translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Pure devotional service is so sublime that one can very easily forget the happiness derived from material enjoyment, material liberation, and mystic or yoga or yogic perfection. Thus, the devotee is bound by Krishna's mercy and his uncommon power and qualities. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirbhishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Pure devotional service is so sublime that one can very easily forget the happiness derived from material enjoyment, material liberation, and mystic or yogic perfection. Thus, the devotee is bound by Krishna's mercy and his uncommon power and qualities. Hare Krishna. I would first of all like to thank the organizers of this call for giving me this opportunity to serve all of y'all. Would like to thank all the devotees who are on the call for participating in the call. So in this section of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, we are witnessing this beautiful discussion that's ongoing between the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. And he's talking to whom? To one of his very, very intimate associates, Srila Sanatan Goswami. We know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as I said, he is non-different from Krishna, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. Krishna, who has appeared with the mood in the mood of Srimati Radharani, is Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sanatan Goswami, as we know that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he came with all his associates, Sango Pangastra Parshada. All his Parshad, all his associates appeared with him. So Sanatan Goswami, as we know, he's the Manjari in the spiritual world. He's Lavanga Manjari, Rati Manjari in the spiritual world. So here we see that in this section, Sanatan Goswami has inquired from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving explanation to this one verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And imagine one full chapter has been assigned to explain this one verse of Atmaram. And we know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained it in 60 plus ways. So if we think, why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have to explain it in so many ways? One verse to explain it in 60 plus ways. Why did he do that? The reason being that he knows that there are so many categories of spiritualists also. So somehow to get the message across to these people, however they understand it, because there are these emperors, there are gyanis, there are yogis, and he just wants them to get the message of this verse. You get it however you get it. That's why he presented it in so many different ways that at least some one of these 60 plus ways will make sense to everybody. And the essence of this verse that is being discussed, and I'm sure most of you all have by now understood that verse also. It has been so wonderfully explained by these devotees in the previous classes. The essence of that verse is that how the path of devotional service or bhakti yoga is superior, or not even superior, it's supreme, establishing the supremacy of bhakti yoga over all the other processes. And even in this verse that we see today, it's the same message that we are seeing, that how pure devotional service is so sublime that it can very easily make one forget the happiness that is derived from any other source, be it material enjoyment, material liberation, mystic powers, yogic perfection, whatever it may be. They are so insignificant to the anand, the bliss that one can achieve from pure devotional service or bhakti yoga. So before we come to this verse, I just wanted to first explain a bit of the background of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking to Sanatan Goswami. If you see, Sanatan Goswami being an associate of the Lord, being a Manjari, as I said, from the spiritual world, and for some of y'all, I'm sure most of y'all must be knowing that tomorrow is a very, very auspicious day. It is Guru Purnima, but we celebrate we glorify our spiritual master's appearance day on Vyas Puja. But tomorrow is also more than Guru Purnima, it is the disappearance day of Srila Sanatan Goswami. Very auspicious day. So I will not talk much about Srila Sanatan Goswami, because I'm sure whoever is the speaker tomorrow, he must have, prepared and planned a very nice talk on his life. So I don't just want to disturb and cartwheel his talk tomorrow. But I'll just touch something on Sanatan Goswami shortly. But the point that I'm trying to make before we get into that verse is, what makes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speak this whole discussion that's happening is revealing some of the most secretive most unheard, untold secrets of the spiritual world, of pure devotional service. Why is he giving it to Sanatan Goswami? Is it that Sanatan Goswami, he, as I said, he is a pure devotee from the spiritual world? Is it that he does not know? If we analyze this same principle, it's like a fiber, and I'll explain it what it means. See, Bhagavad Gita. Whom did Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita to? He spoke it to Arjuna, right? Now, all of us know again, Arjuna, he's an associate of Krishna. From childhood, he's been his sakha, and he's grown up with Krishna. He's so well learned, so much so that in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells that why I'm giving this Bhagavad Gita to you. Bhakto si me sakha cheti. You are my bhakta and you are my friend. Arjuna knows everything that Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna spoke in the Bhagavad Gita. So was Bhagavad Gita spoken for Arjuna? No. Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, not for Arjuna, but for whom? For all of us. And more than all of us, I don't like using this term all of us, because then it tends to become, it excludes myself. So I would like to put it this way, that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna for me. Because when we use the word me, it becomes more personal. Then we take those messages and those directions, I mean the instructions of Krishna more personally. Right? Now, Krishna speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Krishna could have spoken Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna at any time, right? Because even before the battle, he knew Arjuna. As I said, they have been sakhas, they have been friends for a long, long time. Anytime he could have just got Arjuna and told him, Arjuna, you have some time. Come on, give me an hour's time, 2 hours time. I want to talk something to you. I want to discuss something. And he could have given the whole Bhagavad Gita to him. Did Krishna do that? He didn't do that. Why he didn't do it? And even see, when the Bhagavad Gita starts, the first chapter, if you'll see, first full chapter and till the nearly second half, first quarter of the second chapter, Krishna doesn't talk. The most of the talking is being done by whom? Arjuna. And Krishna is waiting. Krishna is waiting for what? For that verse. Which verse? Karpanya dosha pahata subhava, where Arjuna admits that Krishna, okay, now I'm confused. Now Arjuna takes shelter. Shishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapanam. Prapanam means now I'm a soul surrendered unto you. I'm your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Only when Arjuna comes to that point does Krishna start speaking. And does he give the whole Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna? Very important. Just hold on, because I'm going to go through some more examples and then we'll understand what message is coming across for us. So only when Arjuna comes to this point of accepting the need of hearing from getting direction from Krishna, does Krishna give direction. And then Krishna starts speaking the whole Bhagavad Gita. Now the same principle we see, most of you all know that this same Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke again, second time. In Srimad Bhagavatam we have it, it's called the whole Uddhav Gita. Uddhav Gita. This same Bhagavad Gita, the whole message was spoken a second time by Krishna to Uddhav. Same message in a different flavor, with different examples, but the message was the same. Second time. So let's again analyze Uddhav. Who is Uddhav? Uddhav has been a childhood friend of Krishna. They have grown up together. So again, the same question. Again, if Krishna had to speak the Bhagavad Gita, I mean the Gita to Uddhav, at any time he could have told Uddhav, come on, let's sit under this tree and I need to talk and I need to give you some message. Krishna didn't speak it. When did Krishna speak the Uddhav Gita to Uddhav? See, we all know that Uddhav is a very, very learned personality. He is a disciple of Brihaspati, very well read in all the scriptures and shastras and all. but he was lacking in something. Krishna wanted him to give him that taste first. Long story short, Krishna sends him to Brajabhumi. Just sends him with a message, please give this message of mine to the Brajavasis, to my parents, to the Gopas, the Gopis, and all. And the Uddhav who goes to Vrindavan and the Uddhav who comes back from Vrindavan are two different transformed personalities. When Uddhav is going, he is this, very learned, scholarly Uddhav. And when he comes back, what does he ask Arjuna? What does he ask Krishna? He tells Krishna, I want something from you. Before anything, I want a blessing, a benediction from you. What do you want, Krishna? Krishna says, whatever you ask, I will definitely give it to you. What does Uddhav ask? Uddhav says, Krishna, I want to become a blade of grass in Brajabhumi. He actually becomes a Kulmalata grass in Vrindavan. Even today, just to the west of Kusum Sarovar, you have the Uddhav Kund. Over there, it is said Uddhav resides eternally in the form of that grass. Why did he choose that? Because when he went to Vrindavan, to Brajabhumi, and when he saw the mood of the Brajavasis, he was thinking, what comparison is this to all the knowledge that I have? And I always thought that I'm the best friend of Krishna. I'm always so close to Krishna. But when he saw the love, the intense, heartfelt love, and the pain that the Brajavasis were going through in separation from Krishna. Now, personally, he could not take the dust of those Brajavasis. It would really, further put them in more pain. So he tells Krishna, please, I want to become a blade of grass in Brajabhumi so that way at least I can get the dust of all these Brajavasis on my head. And it's only after this, when Uddhav comes to this level of under consciousness, does Krishna speak the Uddhav Gita to Uddhav. Same thing we see for Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken to Parikshit Maharaj by Sukdev Goswami. So Sukdev Goswami could have come in any time because Parikshit Maharaj was the king. He could have just told the king, I want to speak the Bhagavatam. And just like nowadays we have these Bhagavat Saptas, huge Bhagavat Saptas, they spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees on it. So Parikshit Maharaj was a king. For him to organize a Bhagavat Sapta, what's the big deal? No big deal. He could have arranged for this huge pandal and he could have invited Sukdev Goswami and all these big personalities to come and hear the Bhagavatam. Krishna didn't arrange it that way. What did Krishna do? Waited till Parikshit Maharaj got into this whole situation that we know. He got cursed and he's going to die in 7 days. He leaves all his family, his wealth and everything. And here today he's sitting and hearing from Sukdev Goswami. And in the first canto, we hear of the 6 questions that he puts forward to Sukdev Goswami. Only then does Sukdev Goswami speak and give him the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. And now today here we are seeing Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking to Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami had already met Mahaprabhu once in Ramakeli. At that time only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could have told him, sit, I'm going to speak this whole what he's speaking now to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to Sanatan Goswami. He didn't do it. Only when Sanatan Goswami speaks some of these verses, which I will just read, does Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu start. Thank you, Madhya. Only when Sanatan Goswami reveals his heart through some of the verses that I will read, does Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu start speaking what we are right now discussing. Everything about pure devotional service and all. What does Sanatan Goswami tell Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Tobe Sanatana Prabhura Charane Dhoriya Denya Vinati Kore Dante Lona. Dante Trinalona means he's taking a straw with it between his lips. Putting a straw in his mouth and bowing down, Sanatan Goswami clasped the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and humbly spoke as follows. What did he say? Nicha jati nicha sangi patita adhama kuvishaya kupe podi gonainu janama. He's saying, I'm niche jati. I'm born in a very low family, and my associates are all low class men. Niche sangi patita adhama. I am myself very fallen. I am the lowest of all men. Indeed, I have passed my whole life fallen in the well of sinful materialism. Apanara hita hita kichu nahi jani. Gramya vyavahare pandita tai satyamani. Gramya vyavahare pandita. That the Gramya, all the people think that I'm very learned, I'm a Pandit. And Mahaprabhu, do you know what? I think I accept that as true. I Satyamani. So now he's saying, Kripa kori jodi more koriyacha udhar. Apana kripata kohe kartavya amar. Out of your causeless mercy, you have delivered me from this material mess. Now, by some causeless mercy, please tell me what my duty is. I don't even know who I am. Why do the threefold miseries give me trouble? If I do not know this, how can I be benefited? And the last verse he says, Sadhya sadhana tattva puchita nahi jani, kripa kori shava tattva kahota apani. Actually, I do not know how to inquire about the goal of life and the process for obtaining it. Being merciful upon me, please explain all these truths to me. And only when Sanatan Goswami reveals this mood of his to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu start speaking all that we have been discussing. So we have seen 4 different scenarios. Bhagavad Gita, for Arjuna, it was an emergency situation. Arjuna was in emergency. The war was going to happen and it was literally a do or die situation. And in case of Parikshit Maharaj also, it was an emergency situation, right? Because he was going to die in 7 days. So out of the 4, 2 are emergency situations. In emergency situations, they realized and they just cried out and took shelter of Krishna, right? And the other 2, Uddhav is not an emergency situation. He's in a good position. And Sanatan Goswami is also not in an emergency situation. Rather, he's got out of an emergency situation. He was in jail and he's got out of that. And now he's in a not emergency situation. So we have 2 scenarios where it's an emergency situation and they are taking shelter. They're surrendering. They're understanding the importance of hearing from the Supreme Lord or his representative. And we have 2 situations which are comfortable. Right? Now, here's the choice that we have to make. Why am I discussing this whole thing? Do we want to take shelter and surrender and hear when we are comfortable? At least currently, we are not in an emergency situation. Do we currently want to hear and approach the Lord in the way all these personalities whom we spoke about approached? Or do we want to wait? No, I'll wait, things are not that bad and, y'all are very pessimistic and I'll just wait, life is not that bad. That's the choice we have to make. Because unless we don't approach how these personalities approached, like it's said, unless you don't have hunger, you cannot digest. Right or wrong? To digest food, you must have hunger. So similarly, do we have that hunger to hear? Do we have that eagerness? Do we have that enthusiasm? Because a lot of times what happens, we think, I've been hearing, I've been reading, I'm sure, what Prabhu is going to talk today, I've heard. What more, we've heard. See, if you analyze in this whole process of of Sanatan Dharma or pure of devotional service, basically there are just 3 or 4 facts. If you hear and understand, there's nothing more to understand and hear. I'm not the body, I'm the soul. One. Two, Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Three, what is the relationship of the Jivatma with Bhagwan? Right? And four, how to revive that relationship and serve him. So there are only these 4 or 5 facts, which, just to understand and get this message of these 4 or 5 facts, we have all these Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Bhagavatams, Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these Shastras. And then sometimes we think, it's the same thing coming up. Right? It's so important to have that hunger. When we have that hunger, as I said, then only we can digest. See, the message is same. Yes. Like today also what I'll speak, I'm sure most of you all have heard what we have spoken, what I'm going to speak. All of you all have heard it before. I'm not on a platform where I'm going to start speaking something today out of, no. You've all heard. But then what is the difference? As we keep hearing, the message is the same. But every time when we read or we hear, the rasa that we get out of hearing and reading changes. It gets more and more either condensed or just like, see, suppose somebody starts the first day when we started reading Bhagavad Gita, anybody. I read the Bhagavad Gita first day. I read the first chapter. Why did I read it? Oh, because my mommy told me I must read Bhagavad Gita every day, so I read the first chapter. Or because my friend told me it's a wonderful book, so I read it. So at the end of first chapter, what happens? Why did I read it? Because my mommy told me. First chapter is over, I close the book, keep it. I go and tell my mom, I read the first chapter. Right? Why did you read it? For the sake of, to make your mother happy, for whatever reason. Now the same Bhagavad Gita, when you read it next times, tomorrow, day after, 4th day, 5th day, what happens? The next step is like, you start relating. Okay, really? This happens? Is it true? Wow. Till it comes to a stage where you really are, wow. I'm sure all of you all have experienced this. So the message is the same, but we have to keep hearing it. Because by keep hearing it, what will happen? The rasa, the realizations will come only when you keep hearing it. This is one of the instructions that Srila Prabhupada has given us. If you all don't know, I will remind you all. In this prayer that he wrote on the Jaladuta, Markina Bhagavad Dharma, Boro Kirpa Koila Krishna, Adhamera Prati. So what does he say? Bhagavater Katha Shei Tab Avatar Dhira Hoya Shune Jodi Kane Bar Bar. If anybody knows Hindi, you'll get the message. Prabhupada is saying that this message you have to keep hearing again and again, bar bar. So please understand, this is like an instruction we have got from Srila Prabhupada. Dhira hoya shune jodi. Just keep hearing it. In a sober way, keep hearing it. Bar, 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 bar. You have to keep hearing. A lot of time because we say the message is the same, this person is just going to talk. I'll tell you all something which I had heard about my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Somebody told us this, that he has mastered the art of hearing. And he explained what does that mean. He said that Maharaj, whenever he sits to hear, whoever may be the speaker, whether it's another Maharaj speaking, or it's a Prabhupada disciple speaking, or it's a Brahmachari speaking, or it's somebody like me speaking, whenever he sits, his mood is, or he reminds himself that today this person is at least going to speak something in this talk of his which is, call it new, or which I have not heard before. He sits to hear with that mood. So then can you all imagine how attentively, how much you all will be absorbed, how much you all will be in that class? Because a lot of times, I'm not speaking for you all, I'm speaking for myself. A lot of times I'm in the class, but I'm not in the class. Physically we are there, and mentally we have everything going on over here. So then when I heard that, I thought like, wow, that means when the class starts and the speaker says Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, he is seeking blessings from Vasudev Krishna that I can speak for the benefit of the audience. But then we should also pray when we repeat Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Why do we say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya? We can say, let the speaker say. Then we should pray to Krishna. That Krishna, now what message is coming from this speaker on your behalf, I can absorb, I can make sense. It makes sense to me. I can benefit out of what this person is going to share with me. Then only, yes, we were in the class and we can really benefit. Otherwise, we can just be sitting there. I'll talk of another incident that I heard. One time, His Holiness Indradumna Swami Maharaj was traveling with Prabhupada in India. So he was in South India, and it's very tiring when you to cope up with Prabhupada's speed. It's very difficult. All Prabhupada disciples say. So Maharaj said that, there was a place where Prabhupada sat down to give a class, and Maharaj was sitting right in the front. And Maharaj said, I was very tired. And Prabhupada started speaking in Hindi. And Maharaj said, anyway, he's speaking in Hindi. So I couldn't understand Hindi. And Maharaj was very tired. So he dozed off. He said, I thought I'll take a nap. And he's sitting right in the front. And he said, within minutes, he's sleeping. And either in his sleep or subconsciously or however it is, he heard Prabhupada in this loud tone telling that when a spiritual master is speaking, a disciple should hear attentively, not be sleeping. Now, these words were enough for Indra Maharaj. He just woke up. His eyes opened and he was looking at Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was looking directly at him. He said, why are you sleeping? And Maharaj told him, Prabhupada, you are speaking in Hindi. I can't understand. So Prabhupada said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you understand or not. This is transcendental sound vibration. If it goes inside your ears, it will transform your life. It will transform your hearts. So that's how our eagerness should be to hear. Because as I said, if you don't have the hunger, you're not going to digest. That's why Krishna has given us 2 years, right? You hear from 1 year, it's out of the other year. So we saw Parikshit Maharaj when he heard 7 days. How did he hear? It's not that in the nights he got tired and he told Sukdev Goswami, let's take a break. I'm very hungry. I'm very sleepy. No, 7 days focused. So the point is that how are we taking this message? As I said, we don't want to wait for that distress call to come and then we'll take shelter of this message of Krishna. Because this message that's coming from Krishna, be it in the Bhagavatam or in the Chaitanya, it's not different from Krishna. When we are hearing, we are actually connected, in touch with Krishna. It's said in Bhagavatam first canto, right? Krishna Swadham Upagate. When Krishna went away to his own dham, so all the sages, everybody started asking, now what? Then it is said Krishna has appeared in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the mood with which Sanatana Goswami has approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I'll just like to, before we talk about this verse, as I had said that tomorrow is the disappearance day of Srila Sanatana Goswami. So let's learn one lesson from him. And of course, as I said, I'm sure the speaker tomorrow will be speaking so much about him. So we know that in the life of Srila Sanatana Goswami, every day Sanatana Goswami used to do parikrama of Govardhan. And he used to do the bigger parikrama, the 22 kilometers one, not the 15 one. Every day he was doing it. So now he grew old. He's an old man, and for him to do the parikrama was becoming more and more difficult. But since he had taken this vow, he just couldn't think of not doing it. So one day, once he's completed his parikrama and he's come back, he used to stay close to the Chakleshwar temple in Mansi Ganga. That day, the Lord personally appears. Krishna personally appears in front of Sanatana Goswami and tells him, Babaji, Goswami, Sanatan, stop it. You've done it. Enough. I'm very happy with this many years of parikrama that you've done. You don't need to do anything. And what does Sanatana Goswami tell the Lord? No. It's my vow to you. How can I break my vow? This vow is my life. It's my soul. How can I break it? So the Lord understands. So I'm sure everybody here, if you all knows of this pastime. So the Lord was standing on a Shila and he starts playing his flute. And that in that ecstasy of the flute's sound vibration, that Shila melts. And that Shila has the beautiful footprint of the Lord Krishna. It has a print of the flute, and it has a footprint of a calf also who jumped on that Shila. Excitement and ecstasy. That calf jumped on the Shila, and the calf's footprints are also there. So what did the Lord tell Sanatan Goswami? Look, if you just do 4 parikramas of this Shila, it's equivalent to your Govardhan parikrama every day. So then we know, following that, Sanatan Goswami used to do 4 parikramas of that Shila, which is today in Radha Damodar temple. So the lesson that I wanted to share with y'all is the vow that Sanatan Goswami had taken was his life and soul. He was not ready to uh, give it up even at the cost of his life. He was not ready to compromise. My dear friends, we also take vows. We have taken vows to our spiritual masters, right? The 4 regulative principles. We'll chant minimum number of rounds, and we vow to assist you in serving the mission of Srila Prabhupada. And sometimes we, at least I am not talking for we, sometimes I tend to forget that vow, or rather I sometimes don't take that vow as sincerely as I should be. I've given that vow. So with that same determination, what should our prayer be to Sanatan Goswami? Please bless us with a speck of a drop of that determination you had to live by that vow, that we can also faithfully live to that vow. For what Srila Prabhupada has given us, we are supposed to give our lives for him as gratitude. How much ever we do for Prabhupada is not less. Means there's no limit to how much we have to do for Prabhupada. Every thought, word, action, we should just be thinking how and what I can do for Srila Prabhupada. And we've taken a vow. So this lesson we should learn from Sanatan Goswami. On tomorrow's day, we should pray to Sanatan Goswami. Please bless us with a speck of a drop of that determination that you had to live by your vow, so that we can also fulfill our vow and stay connected to Prabhupada till our last breath. So now coming to this verse that we just read, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is establishing the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga over all the other processes. Your devotional service is so sublime. And we've seen in the previous verses also how your devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, has been compared to all other processes. I was thinking, pure devotional service is being emphasized so much by Mahaprabhu. So why not we today, very briefly, of course, the subject matter that I'm talking is huge, and every aspect of it nearly needs one class, but we'll do a very quick overview of it. Let us try to understand what pure devotional service is, and who can explain that better to us than Srila Rupa Goswami. Because Srila Rupa Goswami, he has been established, and Mahaprabhu himself has established that nobody knows my heart better than Srila Rupa Goswami. We know of that incident when Mahaprabhu once spoke a verse. Nobody could understand what Mahaprabhu meant, except for one person, Srila Rupa Goswami. He wrote it on a paper, put it on his roof, went for a bath. Mahaprabhu came, he sees that paper, and he's wondering. He thinks that how could Rupa Goswami understand this word? Nobody could understand my heart. And then his secretary, Saru Damodar Goswami, tells him that, Mahaprabhu, you have already showered your blessing upon him. So apart from him, who can understand you better than anybody else? So that Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami is our Sambandh Guru. Sambandh Guru means the Guru through by whose mercy our relationship, our forgotten relationship with Krishna is re-established. Sambandh Guru, and our Sambandh Dehe, I mean the Sambandh Murti of our worship is Radha Madan Mohan. And Rupa Goswami is the Abhideya Guru. Once the relationship is established, then you have to do something. The process after establishing the relationship, that is taught by Rupa Goswami. He is our Abhideya Guru. And our Abhideya Ishta Devta is Govindji. And Prayojan we know is Raghunath Das Goswami. What is the result? Prema. Once your relationship is established, you are practicing the process, then what will be the result? You will experience prema or love. And Raghunath Das Goswami is personification of that. He is our Abhideya Guru. And Gopinath Ji is our Abhideya Ishtadev. So that Rupa Goswami, in a Nectar of Devotion, explains to us what Bhakti Yoga is all about. What is Bhakti Yoga? What makes it so supreme? We've been reading that it's supreme, it's superior to all this other Gyan, Karma, everything. Gyan, Karma, the Anavrita. It's superior to everything. What makes it supreme? So I will very briefly, I think I have about 20 minutes. So, Mataji, is the call supposed to go for an hour, or how long is it supposed to go? So I have 20. Do I have 20 minutes, Mataji? Do I have 20 minutes? Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So I'll try to really in quick wrap up, cover it up in 20 minutes. In the Nectar of Devotion, there is this beautiful verse in which Rupa Goswami explains 6 characteristics or qualities of Bhakti Yoga. What are the 6 qualities? What is that word? Verse? I'm sure a lot of y'all have, of course, heard about it and understood it also. But as I said, we have to keep hearing. The more we hear, the more we hear, the more we hear, the more realization and the more rasas we get. The verse is Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha Laguta Prit, Sudurlabha, Sandrananda, Visheshatma, Shri Krishna Karshani Chasa. So in this verse, primarily Rupa Goswami says that there are 6 qualities or characteristics of Bhakti Yoga, pure devotional service. What are the 6 characteristics? First is Kleshagni. So first 2, we'll discuss the first 2 first. First 2 are Kleshagni and Subhada. So it is explained by our Acharya that just like when you sow a seed, right, of any plant, when you sow a seed, what happens? A stem comes out and you will see right on the tip of the stem, you'll see very small 2 leaves, very small, tiny. So when the Bhakti Lata Beej, the seed of Bhakti is sown in our hearts, so the first 2 results you can say, or the 2 characteristics or the 2 qualities that manifest are Kleshagni and Shubhada. And these 2 qualities are in the sadhana bhakti stage. See, bhakti is divided into 3 stages. First stage is sadhana. Sadhana means what? Where we are doing these, Adav Shraddha, then we have Sadhu Sangha, and then we have Bhajana Kriya. See, in those, that steps from progressive steps from Adav Shraddha to Prema, the devotee has to do only the first 3. Adav Shraddha means have some faith, invest some faith. Adav Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. You associate with devotees who will teach you. And then Bhajana Kriya. They teach you what to do and what not to do. These are the only 3 things that we have to do as sadhakas. After that, Anartha Nivriti and all it's not in your capacity. That is a result of the first 3. When you do Sadhu Sangha, you do Bhajana Kriya, then the Anartha Nivriti happens from within. Anarthas are inside. You can't put your hand and with some detergent clean your heart. No. So the first 3 are called Sadhana Bhakti. When we do Sadhana Bhakti, sadhana means, practicing, we are all practitioners, practicing devotees. Then the first 2 results that you will see are Kleshagni and Shubhada. And we'll try to focus on these 2 because most of us on the call, at least I don't know about others, I'm talking of myself, we are at this stage of sadhakas. Now, with due respects, I know there are some seniors in the call. Please don't take me directly that I'm trying to pull you all down to the sadhaka stage. I'm talking more for myself. So in this sadhaka stage, in the sadhana bhakti stage, the first thing that happens is kleshagni. Klesh means miseries. All miseries. Pure devotional service gives relief to one from all material distresses and sufferings. Now, this itself, when a person hears that, wow, just by taking up to bhakti, if all my sufferings are going to be eradicated, somebody should grab it. If he is intelligent, not even intelligent, just common sense. Because if you see in today's world, it's all about, it's a dukhalan. It's a place of misery. The Lord has certified it. This place is dukhalan. This place is asukham 2 times. And here we are trying on our efforts to mitigate klesha. Won't happen, my dear friends. By whatever arrangements we make, won't happen. I'll give you a real life example. There was this person, his name was Alcott. Now they refer to him as Dr. Alcott. He was from Germany. And as a young boy, he contracted a lot of ailments. He got bronchitis, he got heart problems, and doctors had nearly ruled out that this boy is going to die. But he was a very strong personality. He had a very strong personality. He said, no, I'm not going to die. I'm going to do something. So what he did is he got into naturopathy. And he started reading, he did a lot of research, and somehow he hit upon certain natural therapies by which he got cured. He got cured, and then he himself became like a founder acharya of naturopathy. If you'll still go and Google search Dr. Alcott, you will get his name. He wrote so many books. His books were in universities. It became like a whole science, naturopathy. Okay. Now, it might sound that, wow, here was a problem, a clash, and it got resolved. But here's where the problem is, that all these solutions to these problems are not permanent. They're all relative cures. What happened to this person? Let's complete him first before we go ahead. This Dr. Alcott, now he is, imagine, a founder acharya of a whole science. He's written books. He's so popular. He's so famous. He's traveling place to place, giving talks and all. One day, this Dr. Alcott is walking on the road. He's just crossing the road. On the side of the road, there was some oil. And he didn't see. He must have been he was in a rush. He slipped. He fell. His head hit the edge of the road. And he died. Now what? See, this is the problem. Material solutions to material problems, they are temporary. Rather, Prabhupada used to say they will give rise to bigger problems. They will not give, the solution is not permanent and it's not a complete solution. That's the problem. But bhakti, what it does is it goes to the root of the problem. Because see, the problem is we are not going to the root of the problem. Just like I talk a lot of times in my call that in my seminars that I give. See, if suppose somebody has a boil, you take an ointment and rub it on the boil goes away. Tomorrow what happens? Again, you get another boil on the left hand. Last time you got it on the right hand. Again, you put some ointment, it goes away. Then now today you have it on your legs. You need to go to a doctor, and then when he does some diagnosis, he says, oh, you know what, you have some blood allergies, you have to take this antibiotic, and then you don't get boils anymore. So what does bhakti do? Bhakti goes to the root problem. What is the cause of all these miseries? And Rupa Goswami explains that he starts off with, the first thing he says is, it is avidya, ignorance. The common person is ignorant of the fact also that why he is suffering. When a suffering comes to him, he does not know why he's suffering. He's just looking at the solution. If he knows the root cause of the problem, then he'll be able to get a root cause solution also. But because he doesn't know the root cause, which is avidya, ignorance. And with this avidya, what happens, what follows is four things. kutum, bijam, papam, and klesha. In ignorance, the person has an inclination to do wrong things, to do sinful activities. And then what happened? That is bijam, kutam. Then this inclination takes the form of a desire. It becomes a bij, a seed. And now when it's a desire, it's a burning desire. What do? You go and perform an act, which is called karma. And once you've done that karma, once that arrow has been released from the bow, there's no stopping. Then you're going to get a reaction. That is klesha. That is the suffering. So bhakti, what it does is, it goes to the root. Where is the root? The ignorance. You have to wake up. See, this whole discussion, actually, each of this, kutam, bijam, papam, klesha, we can talk about it for hours, literally. Rupa Goswami has explained it so much in detail. But as I said, we don't have time. So, but what the point is that Bhakti Yoga goes to the root of the problem, which is ignorance. It wakes you up to that fact. It's just like, a child. A child wants to put his hand in fire. Right now, he just has the desire, but he's ignorant of the fact that what will happen by putting your hand in the fire. If somebody just goes and tells him, my dear child, don't put your hand is going to burn. He won't put his hand. But there are some people who don't learn it the simple way. They want to learn it through experience. So they still put their hand. And then there are some people who put their hand and burn their hands, and yet they don't get the message. They think, oh, you know what? Fire in India burns. When they go to Chicago, they think, oh, fire won't burn here. So they put their hand over there. Oh, it burns in Chicago also. So what does bhakti do? It goes to the root. And it wakes us up to the fact that it wakes us up to the fact that, okay, we get the first knowledge. We are not the body, we are the soul. And from there on, we get knowledge. And that is why, what does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? At the end of Bhagavad Gita, after he spoke in the whole Bhagavad Gita, what does he say? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. This is the perfection of bhakti yoga, of devotional life. Then he says, what will happen? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshashami. Mokshashami means I'll free you. From what? Sarva papa. Because this pap and the karmas that we do, the reaction that they come, some reactions are manifest, prarabdha. And some reactions are coming. They are on the way, aprarabdha. Correct? But Krishna is not saying, I will take care of only those which have come. No. He's saying, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshashami. I will relieve you of all your sinful reactions. Do not fear. This is Bhagavad Gita's conclusion. Take shelter of me and you'll be relieved of all this prarabdha, aprarabdha, wherever your reactions are in, whatever state they are, you will get relief from all those reactions. Do not fear. And then next one is what? Shubhadha. The next leaf. One leaf is the Klesha Agni. Klesha Agni means just like a fire. When you have a forest fire, everything is burned down to ashes. Fire does not distinguish. Oh, this child, he's a 2-year-old child, let him go. No, if there's a fire in a house, everybody is burnt and everything is flat. Bhakti Yoga is like that. It's like a fire. It's going to burn all your reactions down to zero. So one is Kleshagni, and then what is the other one? The other one is Shubhada. Da means giving, and Shubha means auspiciousness. So Bhakti gives us, it presents us with all auspiciousness in our lives. See, isn't that what we are living for? Everybody wants to be happy in life, right? Nobody likes miseries, but miseries come. Everybody wants to be happy, but they cannot be happy. They are not happy. Whatever efforts you see, UNO, it's tried, and it's failed. Right? Prabhupada used to say it won't work. Only thing that UNO has achieved is the number of flags are increasing. Problem, wars are still going on. They're just going on because they're not going to the root problem. Prabhupada, in his in the Nectar of Devotion, he talks of four things in this connection to Shubhada. He says that when somebody takes up to bhakti, all auspiciousness comes in our lives. What does that mean? He talks about it. I'll just mention those 4 points and we'll briefly understand it. First is, he says, bhakti benefits everyone, not only you. That's the good news. You get benefited, yes. That auspiciousness will come for you. You will be happy. But more than that, is anybody around you, anybody connected to you will also benefit. He says that bhakti benefits everyone. And he explains it that it's not only human beings, any and every living entity. And he gives the example of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Jharkhand forest. He said even the animals were dancing. Even the animals benefited from the chanting of the holy name. That was the first thing he said. Bhakti benefits everyone. He says bhakti attracts everyone, irrespective of caste, color, creed, animals, as I just now said, irrespective of everything. It attracts everyone because everyone at the end of the day is part and parcel of Krishna. And example given is when Srila Prabhupada came to the US, or rather when Srila Prabhupada went all over the world. Everybody, irrespective of caste, color, creed, age, there were no barriers. What was attracting them? It was not actually initially the philosophy also, it was this person, Prabhupada. Because when somebody takes up to bhakti, this auspiciousness that we are talking about is of the heart. It's not external. This auspiciousness can happen at many levels. There are a lot of people who do charity work. They create auspiciousness in by, many other ways. But Krishna consciousness, the auspiciousness, the happiness that we are talking about is of the heart. That's why we say Srila Prabhupada used to carry Vrindavan in his heart, right? And whoever came in contact with him, whoever. I remember when I was in Atlanta, Her Grace Malti Mataji was staying with me in my house for a day. She had come. And till late night, she was talking to me and she told me that, Prabhu, you won't believe it. And I'm sure a lot of you all have heard because she's told it at a lot of places. She said that the initial days when we met Prabhupada, we could not understand anything that he spoke. Because, of his dialect and his age and he was coming from a totally different culture. She said we just couldn't understand what he used to talk. But she said that the person, his heart, he was so loving. We could see that he's come to give. He's not come to take anything from us. He's just come to give. I had another Prabhupada disciple, Her Grace Sadhvi Mataji, staying with me. And she stayed with us for 2 days. We had some program in Atlanta. And I was so surprised that 24/7, she used to have these headphones on her ear. 24/7. And then, in course of our talks, we were talking, she was explaining to us that I can't stay disconnected from Srila Prabhupada even for a moment. She said, even so much so that when I sleep in the night, Prabhupada's either lecture, kirtan is going on, the volume may be very minimal or it could be zero also. See, we need to understand that even if the volume is zero, the sound vibration that's created is so powerful. It's so powerful. She keeps it 24/7. And then she was saying that I can't think of being disconnected from Prabhupada even for a moment. And how to stay connected is either through his books, through his Vani, but I have to stay connected. This is what Prabhupada is saying, that it attracts everyone, irrespective of caste, color, creed. And once you get attracted and you get connected, you stay connected. Then what is the third thing he says? Bhakti produces good qualities in the person who's practicing it. That is why once Srila Prabhupada was asked that how would somebody recognize your followers? How do we know who your follower is? And Prabhupada, what did he say? Every follower of mine will be a perfect gentleman. It's a very important instruction for us. We are representing Srila Prabhupada. We have to be very careful in how we represent him, how we talk to people, how we walk. Do we walk our talk, or we just talk when we sit and we talk big things? Then how is our interaction with people? Prabhupada says that is what that bhakti produces all good qualities of that in a person, and bhakti bestows superior happiness on all. Prabhupada is explaining in the Nectar of Devotion that it gives a higher, as Prabhupada, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, param drishtva nivartate, that the person experiences higher happiness, a higher taste of life. And I'll give you an example, and I think I'm going to end here because it's already an hour. Maybe we'll discuss it sometime later. But I'll just end with this one example of what this higher taste or this higher happiness on param drishtva means. So just let us take an example that there is a dog on the road, and this dog is starving for 3 days. He's not eaten anything. He's going to die. So at that time, he sees a person, a beggar. He has a chapati, a very dry chapati in his hand. It's so dry, it's so stale that this beggar also doesn't want to eat it. So what he does, he just throws that chapati and walks away. He just walks away. He says, who's going to eat this stale chapati? So what does this? I'm sorry, I put it the other way around. There's a beggar who's not eaten for 3 days, and he's dying of hunger. So he sees a dog with this stale bread in his mouth, stale chapati in his mouth, and the dog also doesn't want to eat that chapati. It's so stale, it's so hard. The dog throws the chapati and walks away. So this beggar, he sees this chapati as his last hope. He says, "Look, I'm anyway going to die. Either I'll die of starvation, or if I eat this chapati, I'll die of whatever reason, Either way, I'm going to die. Let me take a chance. Let me pick up this chapati and eat it. Maybe I'll survive for a day and tomorrow somebody will come and save me." So he picks up this chapati and he's about to eat it. At that time, a person comes, let's put it as a gyani, and he comes and gives him this big lecture. "What are you doing? You're mad, you're crazy, you're going to eat that chapati, you're going to die." The beggar says, "Anyway, I'm going to die out of hunger or I die of the chapati, makes no difference." And this person goes away. Now here comes a bhakta, a devotee. And do you know what he does? He doesn't talk to this person at all. He doesn't speak a word. Just in his hand, he brings a big tray. And on that tray, there is hot rice, dal, chapati, two sabjis, halwa. The whole tray is, well, the aroma that's coming, hot. This devotee does nothing. He just comes and keeps it in front of this beggar and walks away. He just walks away. Now my question to you all is, what does this beggar do? It's a very simple question. It's, common sense. He starts eating, right? But before eating, what does he do? That dry chapati which he has in his hand, he throws it away. Nobody has to tell him to throw it away. When the halwa and the puri is there in front of you, you're going to eat the halwa and puri and you're going to throw away that stale chapati. This is what Prabhupada is explaining to us, and what Rupa Goswami is explaining to us, what happens when we take up to Bhakti Yoga. This higher taste that Prabhupada is explaining, superior happiness. Once you get this higher taste, of course, in terms of prasadam, in terms of holy name, and once all this, as we just now discussed, this all this kalesha, the miseries of our lives are taken care of automatically. No, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to put in any extra effort. Automatically, the lower taste will start going. Can you imagine? Because the first thing, our miseries are being taken care of. And these miseries can be taken care of in two ways. See, one, it can happen in physical way, in the sense externally. Suppose somebody has leprosy. Example given by Srila Prabhupada in Shastras is Vasudev that had leprosy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just embraced him, leprosy gone. Right? Then suppose somebody is very ugly, Kubja. Prabhupada gives the example of Kubja. What happens? Comes in contact with the Lord, she becomes so beautiful. Somebody is very poor. Sudama's example is given. One moment he is now the wealthiest person. Bill, he is the most happiest person on planet Earth. So on one level, please understand this. When we say Kleshagni, it can happen at this level, at the physical level, at the external level. Now there are some examples where you all might say, Prabhu, in this case, this is Kleshagni didn't happen. Whose example? Let's take the example of Sridhar Kolavich. He was poor, he is poor, and he remained poor till the rest of his life. Then in his case, how was the Kleshagni? How did it happen? It happened at the consciousness level. He didn't want. The Lord was ready to give him, right? In the Mahaprakash Leela, we see the Lord is telling him, what do you want? I'm ready to give you all the Ashta Siddhis and the everything that you can think of. He said, my dear Lord, I don't want. What has got purified in this case? His consciousness. The klesha happens at two levels. Na? One is the physical level and one is at the mental level. Because the mental level consciousness also has to be cleansed. And I'll end with this another example. One of our god brothers in Bombay, his name was Toka Krishna Prabhu, who left his body a few years back. He was very young, 29, 30, just got married. His wife was about to deliver a child and he contracts cancer. And doctors say, oh, sorry, very few days left. He's about to leave his body. Now, he had every reason to complain, to ask Krishna, why me? I have served you. He was a brahmachari in the temple and he had served all the Vaishnavas. He had done such hardcore devotional service, and this is what I get. How did his Kleshagni happen? Imagine just days before he's leaving his body, he's asking his spiritual master, he's asking Krishna, why me? The question is same. He's asking Krishna, why me? But what is his question? Why have I been awarded or rewarded this opportunity that I got in this life? Imagine when he was leaving his body, he was so fortunate that his spiritual master is holding his hand. There were thousands of devotees in the Radha Gopinath temple chanting, big time kirtan going on. And his question to Krishna was what? Why me? Why am I getting this type of mercy? So in his case, the Kleshagni is also happening. It's not happening at the physical level. Somebody might say, oh, Krishna, why didn't he cure him of his cancer? Krishna cured his consciousness. So that is what we need to understand. As I said, these topics, we can talk so much about it. So we just discussed these first two characteristics or the qualities of Bhakti Yoga, which happen at the sadhana bhakti level. And it's more important for us, of course, the latter ones are at the bhava bhakti level, and then the last one is at the prema bhakti level. If in the future we get a chance, if I don't know whether I'll come back on the call again, so we can discuss about it later on. But these two qualities itself, right? First quality, your all kleshas are destroyed, and all auspiciousness comes to our life. This itself should be such a strong motivation for us who are already in Bhakti Yoga or those who are jumping or stepping into Bhakti Yoga to keep us enthused in our devotional life. And this is what in this verse Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining, that this process is so sublime that it makes you forget everything else. To the degree of material liberation, and as I said, yogic perfection, mystic yogas, that is what Mahaprabhu was offering Sridhar Kolavich. He said, I don't want it. What I want is just Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavtad Bhaktir Ahituki Twai. I don't want anything else. I just want life after life after life to be your servant of the servant of the servant. Nothing else. I just want to be among your devotees serving you. This is what makes pure devotional service so sublime. And we are so fortunate. Please understand our good fortune. I don't know about who are there on the call. I know about myself, the background that I'm coming from. I just don't know how it's happened. I know only one thing. It's by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. I can't think of any other reason. That's what when Prabhupada was asked that what is our qualification, Prabhupada said, you had no qualification. I made your qualification. And that's true. It's only by His mercy that we have got this. Let us value it. Let us value it and hold on to it only for this life. That's all. It's only this one lifetime we have to hold on to. And then at the end of life, Srila Prabhupada will take care of us. Prabhupada actually once told His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, just hold on to my dhoti. Now take it in a literal sense or whichever sense we want to take it in. He meant to say, stay connected to me. And at the end of this life, then it's Prabhupada, let us do our business and let Prabhupada do his business. Then Prabhupada knows what he has to do of us. So let us value what we have got. It's an invaluable gift. How we got it, let's not think let us stay sold out to Srila Prabhupada. Be grateful to him. Gratitude is very, very important. So we should be very grateful for what we have got by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I went I think it's about 10 minutes past 1 hour. Please forgive me. But I don't know, Mataji, do we have time for questions or we are just going to end the call? I'm going to leave it up to you, Mataji. How the devotional service and praise that from the world from for the people of the celebration and everything. So thank you so much for this. Yes, we do practice the devotion. So I will tell one thing about the practice for the devotional service that you were describing, like Shivata and Klesha. The Klesha Agni, you were saying, the Klesha Agni. Klesha means miseries. Yeah. So all the miseries are dissipated. They are all destroyed. It's one word actually, Kleshagni. Klesha Agni, they are combined and it becomes Kleshagni. So the explanation given is just like fire. Agni means fire. The word actually is Kleshagni. It's one word. Mm-hmm. No, Mataji, you're right. You're right. It's Gni. Gni means destroys, and then I think Prabhupada later on explains that just like fire destroys everything, that's where I should not have said it as Agni. I should have said it as Klesha and Gni. Gni means what you're saying is right. It destroys all Klesha, all the miseries. So the word is Kleshagni. So it is not fire, but the explanation given by Prabhupada is just like fire burns, in a forest fire, it burns down everything. In the same way, like fire, Bhakti Yoga, pure devotional service burns down all kleshas. So Mataji, you're right. It's good you brought it up and clarified it. No, that is perfectly right. It is Gni means what that destroys. Yes, Mataji. Thank you for clarifying, Mataji. Thank you so much for thank you very much for doing your education. So I went now more than 8 years, more than 15 years, and you are taking Shishi Bhagavad Gita class and different road areas. I'm hoping we have good road areas. We are not able to actually advance, but I will also going with starting your class. Already, he is my daughter is here. So thank you very much. If when you are observing something that happens, then you are very beyond God. Today also you are thinking about how we have to physically follow what is written in physical and identity which are if you have to also explain about hearing from last 3.5 only start to hear English that also but that is not regular. So probably staying
Maharaj's hand, Maharaj's hold to Krishna Prabhu's hand, and we all more than 2,000 Vaishnavas in Krishna Prabhuji, and he's very simple Vaishnava, very simple Brahmachari, no simple Brahmachari. From last, we are going to this, and then he never cried, but he was Krishna Katha, Krishna Katha, Krishna Katha up to the last. That is the quality of person. And he will take care of all Brahmacharis. He will shut up all the small, Bhagavatam, small, there is a very small drawer. He will set up and he has all the grades. There is a number of all the Brahmacharis, Buddhas and I. So I know this is so simple Brahmachari. And I get so many things from you also.
Hare Krishna Madhya, thank you so much for your very inspiring words.
Thank you so much for your wonderful appreciation and wonderful class. We land up here.
Thank you so much, Mataji, and thank you everybody for participating in the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Antikoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.